Hello everyone, and welcome back to Red Raptor Writes. A sequel to Frontier's Jurassic World Evolution is all but confirmed at this point. I'm not a betting man, but $1,000 says it releases with Dominion. Like many of you at home, I like Jurassic World Evolution. After a rocky start, it gradually turned into an overall enjoyable game. Heck, I even made a whole Jurassic Park recreation series. Check it out. Although many improvements have been made since its 2018 release, I feel that there are still a lot of improvements for the sequel to make. So here are 10 ways Frontier can build a better sequel. Let's dig this up. The visitors in your build have been and should always be a major part of Tycoon games. If you're building a zoo or park, the guests should obviously matter since they're the ones paying for the place. But in Evolution, the guests aren't actual guests. They're just visual representations of how popular your Jurassic World is. They don't have any requirements, thoughts, or personality. They just exist. And that's a shame since games well over a decade old like Zoo Tycoon 2 and J-Pog did very well in this area. Guests got angry if their needs weren't being met and could even die. They enjoyed utilities like benches and trash bins, got scared if buildings were damaged, and had favorite animals. This touch of personality is something the sequel sorely needs. Going off of that, the dinosaurs need more personality as well. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but J-Pog from 2003 did this perfectly. A great example were the Velociraptors. They would gang up to take down prey, leap with joy when socializing, roll on their backs like puppies, run around with each other, and climb fences. The dinosaurs also performed normal behaviors like sneezing, sleeping, scratching, limping, pooping, and yawning. JWE added sleep, but its dinosaurs are missing most of these natural behaviors that feel more animal-like. Even with diseases, their health bar just slowly decreases. The dinosaurs never show symptoms. In J-Pog though, dinosaurs with Bumblefoot limped, dinosaurs with the flu sneezed and slept a lot, rabies made them thirsty and angry, and so on. It's the details that make these animals come to life, so currently they're still very dull. Ever since Claire's Sanctuary, players have been able to use very sought after decorations, but we only got a handful of trees and rocks. With the Return to Jurassic Park DLC, we got the gorgeous redwood trees reminiscent of the Lost World, along with some lights and signs which were great additions, but limited to the JP era. Yes, every decoration so far has been a welcome addition, but we need more, and more available in every park, not just limited to a specific era. Skeletons, the Spinosaurus skull, amber, statues, more trees, plants, rocks, lights, lamps, archways, and fountains would all be awesome additions. The terrain tools are something the sequel definitely needs to improve, mostly in mountains and ditches. Jurassic World Evolution doesn't allow the player to make steep slopes, cliffs, or mountain ranges because all of the slopes are very gentle. You can't make harsh inclines like you would for a moat or mountain. And just attempting to make a mountain takes an ungodly long time as you have to slowly raise all the terrain around it just to raise the peak a little bit since the slope is so low. In the end, all you're left with is a short hill and -5 minutes. The Return to JP DLC finally introduced aviaries and pteranodons. Now the sequel has to take it much further. We should get JW the game levels of pterosaurs like Tapeara, Elanqua, Quetzalcoatlus, Dimorphodon, and Ornithochirus to name a few. And guys, buildable aviaries with as much creative control as the paddocks, that would be awesome. And Frontier shouldn't stop there. Marine reptiles. Mosasaurus already made an appearance in both Jurassic World films, becoming a series staple. I'm surprised they didn't make it into Evolution, even in DLC form. Not only did Zoo Tycoon implement aquatic animals and tanks with its Marine Mania DLC, but so did the original 2001 Zoo Tycoon nearly 20 years ago. I think a 2021 release has the technology and resources to make it possible. Aquarium tanks should be on the table, and not just for Mosasaurus, but imagine Elasmosaurus, Tylosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, and Sarcosuchus. Take aviaries and tanks, put them together, and you've got my money. Again, just about every other Tycoon park building game has at least some degree of staff management. Thankfully, the dinosaurs in Evolution don't poop, because if they did, there'd be piles upon piles of it lying around. Jurassic Park and World staff have been part of the series since the very first scene when a worker got mauled by a velociraptor. Then in Jurassic World, a newcomer falls into the raptor enclosure with Owen coming to the rescue. Even in the Evolution trailer, a worker gets devoured by Tyrannosaurus. In a dinosaur theme park, staff safety should be of the highest concern and could add a lot to the gameplay mechanics. And I kinda wanna see what happens if I endlessly feed them to the T-Rex. Will they go on strike? Who knows? I wanna find out. The DLCs did help Evolution in this regard, but at launch, Dino Variety was severely lacking. At launch we got 5 ankylosaurs, 5 stegosaurs, 5 ceratopsids, and 6 ornithopods. Like, once I got Stegosaurus, Kentrosaurus, and Gigant Spinosaurus, I don't need Chungking or Huangosaurus. Maybe if they felt different enough, but they don't. Not only was there a lot of repetition, but a lack of really unique looking dinosaurs. Probably because they'd require new rigs, and JWE only had a year to develop, but now with the sequel, that shouldn't be an issue if Frontier gives themselves enough time. But imagine, instead of filler dinos like Polacanthus and Chasmosaurus, that we get something awesome like Therizinosaurus, or Mononychus, or Oviraptor. It's an issue of quality over quantity. I'd take less unique dinosaurs with personality than a bunch of bland ones. But quantity and quality don't have to be mutually exclusive. Give us plenty of awesome dinosaurs and it's a win-win. Not to sound like an overly negative jerk, but one major problem in Evolution that's never been addressed is clipping. Dinosaurs have no collision detection, so they move right through each other constantly. In fact, it's only gotten worse since herding was added, since now they're always congregating more closely, so the clipping is more noticeable. A sequel is a perfect chance to fix this. I'm not a programmer, but maybe better dinosaur AI and hitboxes should help. Okay, so another huge downside of Evolution is the fighting. The battle mechanics are so bland. It's a shame that the fights are the least entertaining part of a Jurassic World game. Let that sink in for a minute. The dinosaurs literally just square up and take turns biting each other until one gives up or dies. It's so uninteresting that I'm at a loss for words. In Evolution 2, or whatever they call it, please make a more dynamic and interesting system that also incorporates pack hunting or herding. If Frontier's looking for an easy place to improve, this is it. Okay, so for the final improvement that the sequel needs to make, it's the dinosaur designs. Now, some of the dinosaurs in Evolution look stunning like the Spinosaurus and Iguanodon, but unfortunately, not every dino was so lucky. So many of them are either boring or plain ugly. The once beautiful J-Pod Corythosaurus now looks like a puke-stained disappointment. I understand trying to stay accurate to the films, but usually these lead to the best results. It's the ones who aren't in the movies where Frontier has full creative freedom that they screw up. Easy examples would be Deinonychus, the dinosaur find of the 60s that made paleontologists rethink their perception of dinosaurs from giant freak lizards into swifter, more bird-like creatures. But screw that, I guess. Freakish tadpole it is. What the heck is this monstrosity? Why does the face of the dinosaur revolution look like a frog? It's disgusting. Then there's the Acro, who looks like a Tarbosaurus that spent its entire quarantine time eating ice cream. And who can forget the baby Giga? Giganotosaurus, the dino whose entire claim to fame is being bigger than T-Rex, was only half the size. I know this was patched after fan complaints, but man, these terrible design choices forced me to question Frontier's judgment. Oh, and let me see the skins before picking them so I can avoid the ugly ones you inevitably come up with. Okay? Okay. Thanks everyone for watching my video. I hope I didn't come across as overly critical, but to make a better Evolution 2, we need to recognize what can be improved if we want a better game. I enjoy JWE, but there's still a lot of room for growth. Hopefully, Frontier takes some of these suggestions into consideration. If they do, then you will definitely see me playing this alongside Prehistoric Kingdom next year. Fingers crossed, everybody! Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to please leave a like, subscribe, and check out my friends' videos at Plot Twist Entertainment. See you next time.